Hey Josh, I wanted to give you some feedback quickly on your map. It looks really good so far. I just have a few suggestions that I would suggest you try to do and resubmit. It'll just help some of your points and also just create a stronger portfolio piece. The first thing I would suggest is the icons on the map are really hard to see. I know this is a smaller screen size, but I would make them a lot bigger. I would also just include like this much of the map. That means the whole thing could zoom in. So if you have the folders correctly organized, you can just select the folder and just make the whole thing bigger. So I would just include this much here because you don't have to really include much more than where your attractions are. So that would really take care of a lot of this wasted negative space. I would also make them bigger, and you could even put some type of a some type of a shape behind them because you can't see it's hard to see images over background graphics. I just wanted to show you the student's work. So you can see how she did put these little circles. I mean, obviously you're not going to copy this, but again, you can see that it really works to unify things. And again, the icon should be bigger on the map than in the legend. Also, something else you can work on is organizing your legend and aligning some of the some of the objects. So I would have the text and then the objects just right under each other so they're aligned, because here it looks a little sloppy when they're all kind of zigzagged in there. The next thing to think about is all of this negative space. So what I would do is I would just make this whole legend bigger. You can maybe make it all the way down the side. And I would suggest using this kind of fancy text just for the city name. And again, this city needs to be closer to the magic. I would probably move the map over a little bit and then just put this info up in here. I would make this closer and use this fancy font just for this. The rest of this text I would put in a simple sans serif font. This is really hard to read at a small size, and it's just not the best design choice just overall. So again, you can see here she used this type here for this for Chicago, Illinois. And notice the type, but everything else is very simple sans serif fonts. So that's something to think about as well. Like I said, if you zoom in on this, then you can actually name some of these streets. So I would make it like, let me make it bigger. I would just include, this much of the map. That's all you really need, because your attractions, are right here. I'd even make this bigger. But you can still see at this size, they're still really small. And again, you can't really see these freeway numbers over on top of the background roads. So, just a minute. So that would be what I would suggest. You don't need all of these roads. Well, you could put a couple of them, but you have a lot of negative space. You don't need to put the text right over the road. You can see it's just hard to read. So that would be my main suggestions. I think you're almost already there. I mean, the hardest part is really drawing all those icons. So now you just need to move stuff around. So yeah, feel free to, if you make the changes before Sunday, just resubmit it, because you are going to get some point deductions for this. So so yeah, if you could just fix a couple things, it'd be really great, and it's just going to help your portfolio as well. Okay.